Halloween is right around the corner, and the ghouls, the ghosts, the goblins are going to be hiding around every corner, lurking in the shadows. Do you like to be scared?
No, I don't.
Sometimes it's fun.
Well, whether it's a scary movie, a haunted house, the experts say the thrill and desire of getting creeped out is rooted deep inside your brain.
Take a look.
We like to be scared for a lot of different reasons. I think the first thing that's important to think about is that the kind of scared or frightened that we get when choosing to do something is very different than the terror and the real fear that we feel walking down a dark alley or experiencing something that is not of our choice.
So basically, the primitive part of the fear brain, the animal brain, is very almost the same among other mammals and us. So the issue is that when we are afraid, the bodily reactions and some of neurotransmitters and chemicals in the brain which are triggered are similar to the ones that when we are excited. So basically, it's the excitement and thrill and hyperarousal that we get out of it, which is fun.
This is the amazing thing about the human brain and body, is that we can suspend our disbelief and enter, a space where we kind of put to the back burner the fact that it's fake. We still know it and it's still really important, but when we're scared, when our body is kind of in that fight or flight mode, we're not really thinking very critically or logically or rationally.
And what determines our ability to overcome the fear and not be terrified and enjoy it is a sense of control, which is extremely important. We are in charge, we are in control. We know what's the limits. We know, let's say at this haunted house, they will not touch us. We know that they will not hurt us. We know that I can turn off this movie at any time I want.
The sense of agency and control is just so critical to fear. When we don't have it, that's terrifying. When we do have it, we feel like we are, an agent of our own making.
So the fear system evolved hundreds of thousands of years ago to prepare us for real danger situations when we were living in the woods. Our current environment is too safe. So basically, those fear experiences could also be a form of practice. What would I do? How would I do it if I were? Like when we are watching that movie, we're constantly problem solving. We are seeing ourselves in that position and say, okay, what would I do? Basically kind of preparing us for those conditions.
I think of it much like, play fighting or rough and tumble play when you're kids. You're practicing play, and in doing so, learning about your body, learning about your limits, learning what it feels like to be, in those different types of states. And so, going through a haunted house can almost be a way of practicing fear, but then also with the guarantee that you're going to come out okay.
If you pay attention, we rarely do these scary experiences alone. We are like, hey friends, come let's watch this horror movie. Or let's go to the haunted house with a group of friends. So these are basically bonding experiences. High levels of emotions help us over bonding.
People doing shared experiences that are very intense can sync up their heartbeats. I mean, it really is a bonding experience. And it becomes the stuff of stories that we tell each other later. We form stronger memories during very intense emotional experiences, often expressing vulnerability. But when we're with people we trust, we leave feeling more tightly bonded.
It is healthy to get scared, and we want to be able to get scared because that is what protects us in real serious dangerous situations.
There are so many reasons we love Halloween. I think, first and foremost, for a lot of adults, it's really fun to have an opportunity to be somebody else. As kids, there's so much space just to play, to be ridiculous and absurd, to scream. As adults, we just don't have that many, socially acceptable opportunities. But in the context of Halloween, you can scream, you can laugh, you can run around. I mean, it's really an opportunity to play again.
All right,
I get it now. That makes sense.
Doctors say that fear can be a great motivator for good.
And challenging yourself to face your fears can be a healthy way of proving to yourself that you're capable of things you might not have thought possible. Like when you yell at the screen and say, don't go in there alone. I would never do that.
Still, I don't want to watch the scary movies, but that's just me.